This video is about famous Hollywood celebrities and people who passed away in 1978 in the United States. Before we proceed, please subscribe to our channel to support us. Maggie McNamara, she was born in June 1928 and she died in February 1978. Her age was 49 at the time of her death, and she took her own life by drug overdose. Maggie McNamara was an acclaimed actress and model of the 1950s, best known for her Oscar-nominated role in The Moon is Blue. Despite early promise, she retreated from public life and faced personal struggles. Demi Moore, she was born in December 1902 and she died in February 1978. Her age was 75 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Demi Moore was a stage and film actress known for her character roles in the 1930s and 1940s. She brought a sharp wit to the screen and was best remembered for her part in The Women. After a brief but memorable Hollywood stint, she retired from acting. Philip Hahn, he was born in March 1905 and he died in February 1978. His age was 72 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death were complications from surgery. Philip Hahn was one of the first Korean-American actors who achieved stardom in Hollywood. Known for his dignified and wise portrayals, he became a beloved figure in both film and television, notably in Kung Fu. Zara Khali, she was born in January 1892 and she died in February 1978. Her age was 86 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was lung cancer. Zara Khali was best known as Mother Jefferson in the hit sitcom The Jeffersons. A seasoned stage performer, her late career fame brought warmth and sass to millions of viewers. Peggy Wood, she was born in February 1892 and she died in March 1978. Her age was 86 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was stroke. Peggy Wood was a celebrated actress of stage and screen, best remembered for her role as Mother Abbess in The Sound of Music. Her long, distinguished career also included major Broadway performances and early television appearances. Lear, he was born in March 1902 and he died in April 1978. His age was 76 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was respiratory failure. Lear was a beloved actor and folk activist, best known for his role as Grandpa Walton, blacklisted in the 1950s for leftist views. He later founded Theatricum Botanicum and advocated for the arts. John Cazelle, he was born in August 1935 and he died in March 1978. His age was 42 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was lung cancer. John Cazelle appeared in only 5 films during his brief career, but each was nominated for Best Picture. A gifted actor with a tragic ending, his performances left an indelible mark on American cinema. Bob Crane, he was born in July 1928 and he died in June 1978. His age was 49 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was homicide. Bob Crane was best known for his role as Colonel Hogan in the sitcom Hogan's Heroes. His murder in 1978 sparked a high-profile investigation, and he was posthumously featured in a film about his troubled personal life. Ernest Palmer, he was born in December 1885 and he died in February 1978. His age was 92 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Ernest Palmer was an Academy Award-winning cinematographer who shaped the visual style of early Hollywood. His technical mastery and artistic flair left a lasting legacy in the film industry. Bill Kenny, he was born in June 1914 and he died in March 1978. His age was 63 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was respiratory illness. Bill Kenny was a legendary trainer and founding member of the Ink Spots, a pioneering vocal group in the development of rhythm and blues and rock and roll. His distinctive falsetto became the group's signature sound. Ed Wood, he was born in October 1924 and he died in December 1978. His age was 54 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Edward D. Wood Jr. became an infamous cult figure in cinema history, known for his low-budget, eccentric films. Posthumously recognized for his unique creative spirit, he inspired the biopic Ed Wood, directed by Tim Burton. Michael Wilson, he was born in July 1914 and he died in April 1978. His age was 63 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart failure. Michael Wilson was a gifted screenwriter, blacklisted during the McCarthy era. Despite this, his powerful scripts shaped cinematic masterpieces, and his legacy includes some of Hollywood's most iconic films. Loella Ballerino, she was born in June 1900 and she died in April 1978. Her age was 77 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Loella Ballerino was an influential American fashion designer known for her California-style resort wear. In the 1940s and 1950s, her designs celebrated ease, ethnic influences, and American femininity. Joe Doughty, he was born in November 1898 and he died in April 1978. His age was 79 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Joe Doughty was an American voice actor who originally voiced Porky Pig in Warner Brothers cartoons. His natural shudder gave the character its iconic sound, though he was later replaced due to recording challenges. Lee Brackett, she was born in December 1915 and she died in March 1978. Her age was 62 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death were complications following kidney surgery. Lee Brackett was a trailblazing science fiction author and screenwriter. She collaborated with greats like Howard Hawks and even worked on Star Wars. Known as the Queen of Space Opera, she paved the way for women in sci-fi. Phyllis McInley, she was born in March 1905 and she died in February 1978. Her age was 72 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Phyllis McInley was a Pulitzer Prize-winning poet celebrated for her verse on domestic life. She brought humor and grace to suburban themes and became one of the most widely read female poets of her era. Faith Baldwin, she was born in October 1893 and she died in March 1978. Her age was 84 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was heart attack. Faith Baldwin was a prolific romantic novelist whose works were hugely popular during the early mid-20th century. She authored over 100 novels, many of which were adapted into films, reflecting themes of women's independence and love. Claude Binion, he was born in October 1905 and he died in February 1978. His age was 72 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Claude Binion was a prolific screenwriter in Hollywood's golden age, known for his sharp wit and comedic timing. He began as a journalist before transitioning into film, leaving a legacy of clever, fast-paced scripts. C. Paul Genuine, he was born in December 1890 and he died in February 1978. His age was 87 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. C. Paul Genuine was a renowned sculptor known for his architectural works across Washington, D.C. He contributed significantly to American federal art and is especially remembered for his classical style. Sonora Smart. She was born in February 1882 and she died in March 1978. Her age was 96 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Sonora Smart was the founder of Father's Day, inspired by her own father, who raised 6 children alone. Her campaign led to a national recognition of the holiday, honoring potential figures worldwide. Bill Lear. He was born in June 1902 and he died in May 1978. His age was 75 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was leukemia. Bill Lear was an American inventor and aviation pioneer, best known for developing the Lear jet, a revolutionary business jet. He also contributed to automotive electronics and audio technology. Carl Wyatt. He was born in January 1905 and he died in March 1978. His age was 73 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was a fall during tightrope walk. Carl Wyatt was a fearless founder of the Flying Wallendas, a legendary high-wire act. Known for his breathtaking stunts without a safety net, he tragically died during a performance. His legacy of courage lives on in circus history. John Hall Wilock. He was born in September 1886 and he died in March 1978. His age was 91 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. John Hall Wilock was an esteemed American poet and literary editor. He worked at Charles Scribner's Sons, where he championed writers like Thomas Wolfe. His poetry reflected a blend of romanticism and modernist insight. William Steinberg. He was born in August 1899 and he died in May 1978. His age was 79 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was stroke. William Steinberg was a renowned German-American conductor. He led several major United States orchestras, earning acclaim for his interpretation of Brahms and Beethoven. His legacy shaped American classical music. Charles Best. He was born in February 1899 and he died in March 1978. His age was 79 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was stroke. Charles Best co-discovered insulin alongside Frederick Banting, revolutionized diabetes treatment, a key figure in medical science. His work has saved millions of lives worldwide since the early 1920s. Frank Stanford. He was born in August 1948 and he died in June 1978. His age was 29 at the time of his death, and he took his own life. Frank Stanford was a Southern American poet known for his surreal and emotionally raw writing. His most famous work, a nearly 15,000-line poem, was published posthumously and praised for its dreamlike cadence. Lucius T Clay. He was born in April 1898 and he died in April 1978. His age was 79 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. General Lucius T Clay was a distinguished United States Army officer known for commanding the Berlin airlift during the Cold War. His strategic leadership helped prevent Soviet control over West Berlin. Thomas Wyatt Turner. He was born in March 1877 and he died in April 1978. His age was 101 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Dr. Thomas Wyatt Turner was the first Black American Catholic biologist. He fought for racial equality in education and the church, paving the way for African American intellectuals. Louis Zukovski. He was born in January 1904 and he died in May 1978. His age was 74 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Louis Zukovski was a central figure in objectivist poetic movement. Known for his intellectual rigor and modernist style, his magnum opus A is considered a major contribution to American poetry. Joe Columbbo. He was born in June 1923 and he died in May 1978. His age was 54 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was cardiac arrest. Joe Columbbo was an American mob boss who founded the Italian-American Civil Rights League. He was shot in public during a rally in 1971 and remained in a coma until his death years later. Walter C. Alvarez. He was born in July 1884 and he died in June 1978. His age was 93 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Dr. Walter Alvarez was a well-known physician and medical writer whose newspaper columns demystified health topics. He also authored books on psychosomatic medicine and advocated for mental health awareness. John D. Rockefeller III. He was born in March 1906 and he died in July 1978. His age was 72 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was car accident. John D. Rockefeller III was a major American philanthropist and part of the prominent Rockefeller family. He focused on promoting education, public health, and Asian American relations through institutions he helped found. Harvey Miler. He was born in May 1930 and he died in November 1978. His age was 48 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was assassination. Harvey Miler was a pioneering LGBTQ politician and San Francisco city supervisor. He was a champion of gay rights and social justice before being tragically assassinated alongside Mayor George Moscone. William Grant Still. He was born in May 1895 and he died in December 1978. His age was 83 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Often called the Dean of African American Composers, Still was the first African American to conduct a major symphony orchestra and have a symphony performed by one. His work blended classical jazz and spiritual music. Ober Fitch. He was born in June 1883 and he died in May 1978. His age was 94 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart ailment. Ober W. Fitch was a United States Navy admiral who played a key role during the Second World War, especially in the Battle of Coral Sea. He commanded carrier forces and later served as superintendent of the United States Naval Academy. Edward Lindberg. He was born in November 1886 and he died in February 1978. His age was 91 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Edward Lindberg was a track and field athlete who brought home Olympic gold in the 1912 Stockholm Games. His accomplishments remain a part of early American athletic history. Ethelde Blybe. She was born in February 1902 and she died in May 1978. Her age was 76 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was respiratory illness. Ethelde Blybe was an American Olympic swimmer who won 3 gold medals at the 1920 Games. She helped revolutionize women's competitive swimming and advocated for greater freedom in women's swimwear. Elaine Espazito. She was born in December 1934 and she died in November 1978. Her age was 43 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was coma. Elaine Espazito gained recognition for remaining in coma for 37 years, the longest recorded non-medically inducted coma at the time. Her condition began after an appendectomy in 1941 and became a symbol of long-term care debates. Edgar Church. He was born in November 1888 and he died in May 1978. His age was 89 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Edgar Church was a pioneering comic book collector whose collection, preserved in top condition, is almost the most valuable in the industry. Known as the Mile High Collection, it remains legendary among collectors. There is another part for 1978. If you think that I've left your favorite personalities, wait for it. The next video is coming soon. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Have a nice day.